What's going on, traders? It's your boy Matt, back at you again with another trading recap video. Today's been a great trading session. As you guys can see, I am up $6,800 on the day. Well, to be exact, $6,793 on a day, which is pretty good. I think that's hitting my goal, which is my daily goal is actually $300. Hitting my goal and plus more. So, I can't really complain about that. Now, I actually was only up $6,000 by market, by the end of the market, but I managed to trade this thing. As you guys can see, I actually traded this thing a few times, and I managed to make $800 after hours. Anyway, as you guys can see, I actually traded a lot of stocks today. But before that, yesterday I actually had a really bad day. Yesterday, I actually lost $5,000 yesterday trade, and I'll show you here. Took a screenshot of it. $5,000 down yesterday. $5,004. And the reason for that was because I was emotionally involved in the trade. I have a rule, and my rule is if you're down $2,000 on a day, you walk away. So if I come to the trading table, if I'm down $2,000, then I'll turn everything off and walk away. But yesterday I didn't do that, and I was down before I know it. I was down 3,000, and then I made it all back. I was up actually $1,000, and then lost that 1,000, and then down 3,000. It was a terrible, terrible, terrible day, and it was as a trader, I was totally off the rails. I was going in big share size, and I was not respecting any of my rules. Even in the chart room that I have on Discord, some of the people that I trade with, they were telling me, Matt, you need to take a walk, or you need to turn the computer off and walk away. But I didn't do that. So. And the result speaks for itself. I was down $5,000. Had I walked away at $2,000 when I was down $2,000, then I would have saved $3,000. So, but I didn't. Thankfully, I managed to recoup it again today. And if you want to be profitable trader, you cannot let yourself go off the rails like that. When you're trading with emotions, you're chasing the money, and you're frustrated, that's the time to walk away. If you stay and trade, you're just gonna make it worse, and that's exactly what happened. So, for me, it was bad in a sense because I broke one of the major rules that I have, which is the maximum I can lose per day is $2,000. If I'm down 2,000, I'll walk away. Tomorrow's another day. I'll come back and trade. Anyway, now that's out of the way. Let's talk about what I traded today. As I said, I traded quite a bit, so we're going to go through the main ones. So the first one we're going to talk about is ANCN. ANCN, I traded a couple of times. I made okay money on it. I made maybe about $1,000 or something like that from this particular trade. I bought it right here, as you guys can see. I bought it right there, and I sold quickly, and it failed. And then usually what I do is if I trade them like this, I'll put them on the side monitor that I have, because I have 6 different monitors. What I will do is I'll put them on the side and I'll watch them. I'll keep an eye on them. But on this particular one, I didn't. If I was watching it, I would have bought it right here. That would have been a buy at $4, and this thing went all the way to $11. So that would have been a $6 per share profit. 1,000 shares you're in, that's a $6,000 profit, right? But I wasn't watching it. It popped up. When I saw it, it was already here. So I tried to short it here. It didn't work. I think I took like a $30 profit or something like that. I tried to short it a couple of times. As you guys can see, there's a $180 loss. There's a $48 loss. So I tried to short it here, and then I tried to short it here. It didn't work. So 2 losses I took on that. But I waited for the backside, and I shorted this area, and I covered here. So I shorted. I didn't even stay long. I took it off. The best I got out was, $8, $7.50 area. Like the best one that I took was $7.70. This thing went all the way to $4. So I left $3 per share on the table. So that, I shorted the top and I covered at the top. I didn't stay patient for this move. So next time I need to really, hold longer, at least, maybe 300 shares or whatever. I should have held longer, but that's fine. I still made about $1,000 out of this particular trade. The next one we're going to be talking about is AYRO. This one is the same thing. I kept going in and out a lot. So with this thing, I was actually buying it mainly. It actually did move a little bit, so I was buying here and selling. In this one, I was buying it thinking it was going to break out, but it didn't. So it kept failing. I took a couple of losses on it, as you guys can see, $190, $149 loss. But then I managed to make it back somewhere here. I actually shorted here and shorted there. I made a little bit of money, and here as well I shorted a little bit and then covered. Made a little bit of money on it. Not a big trade for me, but I tried to go in and out lots of times. It didn't work. So I'm not really, I'm not shorting here and staying patient and covering here. I'm actually just going in and out, or I'm not buying it here and, staying patient for this move. I'm just going in and out, which is a terrible way to trade. So that's one of the things that I'll be fixing up. The next trade that I took was BPTH. Now this one was the hot trick of the day. This is what everybody else was chasing. I shorted it just before market open, made a little bit of money on it. I got back in it here. I actually lost about maybe 300 bucks or something like that on that. I shorted it here. So I kind of actually, all in all, I probably lost 500 bucks on this particular trade. As you guys can see, I'm not holding. I'm not holding for a bigger picture move. I'm not buying it here and holding it. I'm actually going in and out, which is really bad. But as you guys can see, I lost 162, 159, 220 bucks. And on that one, which is right here, I actually lost 340 bucks on it. But I also made, 300 bucks on that, 50, 40 bucks. Yeah, all in all, I actually lost on this thing. Here you go, another losses right there. But the next trade we're going to be talking about, so that was that. The next trade I'm going to be talking about is CGIX. Now, this one was okay. This one was a big move pre-market. It went boom from pretty much from $7 area, $7 area, all the way to almost $30. Now, I actually bought this market open. I bought this thing market open. As it dipped, I bought this thing and I actually sold into that. And that one would be here. I actually bought it at $14.20 and I sold it at $14.17. So I bought it here and I didn't hold. I got out right there. So I bought it here and I got out right there. But this thing went all the way to $17. So if I held those 1,000 shares, it would have been a $3,000 shares trade. So now I'm becoming aware that my problem is I'm not holding. I'm going to hold it longer. It's better to go smaller share size and hold longer than go bigger share size and go in and out, right? So I made, on this particular trade, I made 900 bucks on it, but then I shorted it again. So once it cracked, so as you guys can see, it traded actually massive amount of volume on the day. Let's see how many stars. It actually traded massive amount of volume. It traded about 49 million shares today. It traded 49 million shares, and majority of the volume was up here. So between this level and this level was majority of the volume between $17 and $13. So once it cracked below $13, I shorted it because I know if it comes up to the $13 area, if it pops up, because majority of the volume is here. People who bought into the 13, people who bought into the 17, people who bought into the 20s would be selling, right? So let's say you bought at 20 bucks or you bought at $13 and this thing is at $11 now. If it comes back to $15, so suddenly you're down, let's say $5,000, right? Because you bought it at 15, now it's at $10. It pops up to $12, $13, $15. When it comes to $14, what's your first instinct? Your first instinct would be to sell because you're already down $5,000. Now you suddenly break even, or you're only down 200, 300 bucks. You want to get out of that trade, right? So that would make you, and that's the idea between this kind of trades, and that's the idea with this kind of trades because majority of the volume, 49 million shares were bought and sold in this area. So now the price is below every single person who bought. Now remember, for every share that's been sold, someone else has bought it, right? So someone else has bought it. If someone is selling, someone is buying. So that every single buyer that was in this area into the 16, 17 area would be underwater when this one is at 12. So even if you wouldn't find buyers here because this does not look like a bullish chart, meaning that this does not look like it's going to go up. In fact, it looks like it's going down, already gone down. So you're not going to find, first thing, you're not going to find buyers to push this thing higher. Even if you do find a buyer to push this thing higher, what you're going to encounter is a resistant level, meaning that as it's going up, you're going to find a lot more sellers at $14 area. And I could use that as a risk to short into, right? To bet it's going to go down further because I know there's a heaps of sellers at $14 area. So that's why I shorted it. And as you guys can see, I made 140, I made 300 on that, I made 350 on that, and I made 181. So I made about 1.6 or 7 thousand dollars, $1,700 or something like that out of this particular trade. The next one we're going to be talking about is actually a trade that this is CRO. So the next one we're going to be talking about is CRTO. This one here, I actually lost in this trade. I was buying it thinking it was going to go breakout, but it didn't. As you guys can see, I lost 350, I lost 170 bucks, and I lost 238. I only managed to make 30 bucks in one trade. So actually, a lot of the trades that I got into, I lost money on. But there were a few trades that actually made a decent amount of profit on. And one of them is EH, and that's the one we're going to be talking about now. EH was a massive mover, as you guys can see. This thing came from here at from $80 area all the way to $110. So that's what a $30 gain. And what happened was, as soon as it gained, it dropped like a rock from 100 bucks, 103, all the way came all the way. So from $103, it came all the way to $90. So that's a $10 drop. And I was actually thinking about buying this, but before I bought it, as you guys can see, it's in 1 minute it bounced back up to the 100. So I shorted it 300 shares, and I managed to make I made 600 bucks on it, and then I got back in again, and I made 600 bucks. So I made $1,200 on this particular stock. The next one I'm going to be talking about is FLDM. This one here was after-hour trading, so I traded this after hours. As you guys can see, it popped. I saw it. I bought right here at $8, and I sold all the way to $9. So I got out. So out of that trade, I made 500 bucks. All right. The next one was JMBL. Now JMBL, I traded this as well. I bought this thing for the breakout here. So as it broke out, I bought it here, and I managed to sell it. I bought it for the break of almost $19, and I sold into the $20 area. So I made about 500 bucks out of that trade. I lost one trade. I tried to short it. No, I tried to long it again. I lost 100, and then I got back in again a second time, and I lost almost 200 bucks on it. So that's that. LEAP, yeah, that was a really bad trade. LEAP, actually lost 500 bucks on this one. I bought it here, right there on top, thinking it was gonna break out, but no, it failed, and I lost 500 bucks on it. It is what it is, but I made back 126 bucks from that. I'm looking for bigger trades. MXC, let's have a look at MXC. On this particular trade, as you guys can see, I actually shorted this thing. What happened with this is basically it popped up, it went higher, I longed it. So long trade here, I lost 183. I longed it again, made 300 bucks, 330 bucks, and that. But this would have made a really nice short trade right there. The next trade we're going to be talking about is PSTV. As I said, I traded a lot of stocks today. So this one here was a buy. Actually bought here, and I sold, buying, selling. So I was buying and selling all the way up there. So I made 500 bucks out of that. Probably 500, 600 bucks. The next trade we're going to be talking about, but this would have made a really beautiful short. I totally missed that opportunity because I was longing everything today. RCMT. Alright, this one here, I actually bought it right there as it's popping. It went into a hold, took a little bit of profit, and then I completely got out of it. After hours though, I saw it popping again. I bought it here, and I sold into that, and I shorted again, and I covered into that. So out of this particular trade, as you guys can see on that one, I actually made this long trade right here. Actually made 700. This long trade right here actually made 700 bucks on that, and then I made 150 bucks or something like that. The next trades was SONO. I bought this thing as well as it popped. Break of this at 35. I bought it and I sold into that $36. So I made 500 bucks out of that particular trade. TLRY, I made 200 bucks from that trade. YI. This one here, I kept going. I was buying right here and I was selling. I was buying, selling. So I made 600 bucks out of that. Probably made about 1,000 or 1,200 bucks out of this particular trade. As you guys can see, I made 600 bucks on that. I made 300 on that, and I made 400 on that. So you take that one off. So I made about $1,000 out of this particular trade. Anyway, guys, sorry that kind of took a long time. I really appreciate you watching my videos. Everything is live for you guys to see. in the chat room that I have. It's a free chat room that I have on Discord. I'll put the link down below. If you want to pop in and say hello and join the family, that'll be pretty good. Now enjoy actually the actual live trading footage. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the live trading part of my videos. In this particular trade, as you guys can see, I traded just before market open, and I'm down $123. This is just before market open. So because yesterday I lost $5,000, and all of that loss, majority of it come from trading pre-market. Today what I did was I avoided trading pre-market. Now as you guys can see, I jumped in this particular trade, CGIX. I shorted it. As I talked about, and before I explaining, majority of the volume was at around that 14 area. So I'm using that as the risk to short into, right? So it's going down, and I took half profit. This puts me up about $150 up on the day. So right now it's actually at 12.30. So I shorted at 13.90. Right now it dropped all the way to $12.13. Completely out of it. You know, and I made a little bit of money. I just skipped a little bit there because there was one trade that I took in the middle, but that was a very long trade. Anyway, now I'm getting back into, you know, I'm trying to get back into CGIX. I'm only shorting 100 shares though, thinking this could, you know, wash out. I'm shorting at $12 again. This could potentially wash out to the $10 area, so I can make $200-300. Now I'm just waiting for another trader at the moment. I got back in here TLRY. Now that TLRY I got back in at $58.87, 300 shares, and I want to sell above 59. I completely sold it, got out of it, made about $51 out of that particular trade. But all in all, I'm up, you know, almost $500 on the day. Now I'm looking at this thing, BPTH. Now I'm using this as a support level. So this is a support level. If it looks like it's going to break it, I won't buy it. If it looks like it's holding, I want to buy it. So boom, I got in 300 shares. It looks like it's going to downside hold, but no, it's not. It's a fake downside hold. It's popping back up over 19, and I completely sold it. I bought it at 18.50. Now I'm selling it at over 19. So I'm making, you know, about $150 profit, 50 cents per share on $300. That's $150. Skipped a little bit. Now this one here is eHedge. I'm looking at this thing. This thing went to $110, and then it washed out to $92. It popped up. So now to $100 again. Now I'm shorting it, thinking it could go back down, right? Because it went up, went down. Now it's like a bouncing ball, right? So I shorted 300 shares from 98.65, right? 98.65. I want this thing to drop to, you know, at least $95, $96. If not, I want it to go all the way down to $92. But I want to be reading the level 2, see if there's buyers. If there's buyers, I want to get out, right? So it's dropping already. I'm up $100 on it. Right, it's dropped to $97. I'm short on $98.34. So I'm down. I'm up $1.30 per share on it. Here we go. Looks like it's gonna drop. Yes, it's dropped. Look at that, $93. It dropped, and then it popped. So it dropped to $93, and it popped back to $95. So I'm trying to take in some profit here at $93, but it's not taking me out. Even at $94, it's not taking me out. So I'm waiting. I might have to take it here on 96 if it looks like it's not going to go down anymore. Because right now I'm up $700 on it, right? So let's see. What am I going to do here? Come on. Drop, drop, drop. It's at $94, but it's not really dropping. I'm trying to stay patient, but 96 is getting hit. I see a lot of green prints. Boom, I'm all out. That puts me up $1,400 on the day because I just made $700 on that particular trade. Then now the next trade is TLRY. I got in 300 shares again here at $53.95. $53.95. It's already popped to $54.70. So I'm taking half right there, and I'm trying to take half right here as well. Come on, take it. Staying a bit more patient. Boom, completely got out of it. I made about 50 cents per share again, $150. So already made $300 out of that particular trade. Now I'm looking at this thing, GMBL. I want this thing to break the highs. Right now, it's actually it went all the way to 1980 area, pulled back to 1850, but it got bought up. You see that red wick that someone sold. Right, someone sold, I think, about 70,000 shares or something like that. But that dropped it down, but it got bought up straight away. So that's an indication for me they're buyers. If something drops really quickly but it gets bought up, that's an indication that there's buyers at a lower price. So I'm using that kind of a support level. I got in here, as you guys can see, 1,000 shares with an average of $19.25. I want this thing to go to $20, right? So I can make $700-800 profit on it. So it's popping up. It's popping up. So I'm up $300 on it. So remember, $19.25 average. Right now, the current price is $19.70. So 1,000 shares. This puts me up about, $400 up on it at the moment. It's up it's all the way up to $19.85. So I'm making about 60 cents per share profit on it at the moment. I'm taking profit right there. Completely out of it. That puts me up. I made $503. That puts me up $2,000 on a day. So I'm up $2,000 on a day. I'm waiting for the next trade to go back in. The next trade is right here, ACN. I actually tried to short this thing a couple of times. I lost and I made it back. I lost and I made it back. But right now, this is the final thing where I'm thinking this is the top, so I want to short it. I have 600 shares to short it. Shorting meaning that I'm betting the price is going to go down, right? This thing came up from $3. It's at $10 right now. So you'd expect to pull back, right? So I shorted here 600 shares with an average of $9.70. So the lower it goes, the more money I make on this one, right? Because I'm not buying it, I'm shorting it. Shorting means you're betting the price would go down. Buying or going long means you're betting the price would go up. So right now I'm down $42 on this particular trade, but I'm expecting this thing to drop. So it looks like it's dropping. I'm up $126 on it. So let's see, I'm holding, I'm staying patient. My average is $9.71. It's dropping. I'm up almost $1 per share on it, which means I'm up $500-600 on that. So I'm taking a profit right there, locking it in. I'm completely out of it. I made about $500 out of that particular trade, and now I traded it again. It kept going down, so now I'm $2,800. I just spit it up. Now I'm about to go for the final round on this particular trade, but because actually this thing ended up going to the $4, right? It actually went to the $4 area. So I shorted again here at $8.07, 600 shares short again. So let's see. I'm staying patient, trying to hold for a bigger move. All right, it's dropping. There you go, it's dropped. I completely got out of it. That puts me up $3,000 on a day. Anyway, guys, the rest of the trades that I took, they were long trades, so I didn't really include them in this. I managed to finish the day up $6,000. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. There's a link down below for a free chat that I have on Discord, which I live stream everything, and I'll jump on the mic and tell you what I think about particular stuff as well. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Bye.